I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? How dare you?
How dare you?
Oh, yes. How is everybody doing? We are back on the Opinionated Idiot YouTube channel. I am Brian. I'm your host, and welcome to the show. It is March 8th, 2023. I want to welcome everybody in. It may take a little bit here for everybody to come in, but I am here and I am live. I want to welcome all of the new subscribers over to the channel. All the activity on the videos is much appreciated. And for the old timers that have been here, the people that have been here from the start, I thank all of you, all my moderators. And yeah, so I am a live streamer. I live stream here, and then I repost my videos to get out into the algorithm. That's kind of the material I do here. But we talk true crime. We talk true crime. So have an action-packed show for you guys this evening. We're going to talk about the Mexican cartel. They kidnapped 4 Americans and end up killing 2. There was some drama during the murder trial of XXXTentacion today. I think I said his name correctly, maybe, hopefully. But I was actually watching some of the live streams of the trials today and managed to pop in, and some courtroom drama happened during that trial. So we'll get that in there. We have a segment of some Bryan Kohberger updates, Gonzalez family updates, and we'll try to move through the show here. But before I go on, I just want to make a correction on a couple of videos that I have put out there. And I made a video where I stated that Kaylee and Maddie worked at the Mad Greek, and I just want to make a correction on that. It's actually Xana and Maddie. Another correction that I want to make is last night I had a live show. Is talking about the Granby girl. It's a case out in Massachusetts that's been unsolved since 1978. I went into talking about the specific case and said that DNA evidence actually convicted or found the killer in her murder, and that's I misspoke on that. What I meant to say was DNA evidence helped identify the victim, Patricia Tucker, in that case. Her killer is still at large, but there are a large speculation that possibly her late ex-husband was the one that actually murdered her. So a couple of corrections there. Look, I am not perfect. This is a live show. I'm doing this solo, and sometimes, you over prepare for shows. I try to prepare at least an hour to 2 hours or an hour before my show. I'll do notes and take notes. And sometimes, everything is going. I'm controlling everything here. So, that happens. But let's get back into the first story this evening. Let's talk about the Mexican cartel kidnapping 4 Americans. They kill 2. Police say possible motive for the cartel. They were thinking they could have been Haitian smugglers. Let's pull up that article here and bring it up on the widescreen. So, from the New York Post, suspect arrested in Mexican cartel kidnapping and murder of 2 Americans. Actually, we go down here. It says Mexican officials have arrested 1 person allegedly tied to the violent kidnapping of 4 U.S. citizens and left 2 dead. Jose Guadalupe, a 24-year-old Mexican national, was guarded in the house where the cartel members were held captive for days. He tortured American friends Latvia Tay, McGee, Eric James Williams, Shitty Woodward, and Zandel Brown. Authorities have not yet said whether Guadalupe is part of the violent Gulf cartel, the gang suspected of kidnapping the group that operates in the region. The captives were found Tuesday in a wooden shack in a rural east of, Matamoros, called El Diago. I'm going to mess these up. On the way to the Gulf Coast, known as Baghdad Beach, according to Tom. I'm going to not get this. State Chief Prosecutor Irving Barrios. By the time the group was discovered, Woodward, 33, and Brown in his mid-20s have been killed. The survivors, McGee, 35, and Williams, 38, were rushed to Brownsville, Texas. I know exactly where Brownsville is. I've been there before. Williams have been shot in his left leg, but the injury is not life-threatening. This looks like this is the captured suspect. I mean, look, there's a lot of corruption down in Mexico. There is a lot of issues going on down there. There's a lot of police that are involved in the corruption as well. And, it's pretty crazy. You don't know who's who and who's on whose side. Let me pull up some of these chats real quick. I want to recognize Helena, and I apologize. Your last name, I'm probably not going to pronounce that correctly. So I want to be respectful of that, but I will pronounce your first name. Helena just became a YouTube member of my channel. She became a monthly member of the channel, showing some support. So I definitely want to support her on that. We'll give her a bell for that one there. And I have Mr. O'Brien in the chat as well. Good evening, sir. We have been corresponding via email. We've had some fantastic emails going back and forth, and I appreciate all of your questions and your theories behind the Kohberger, possible Kohberger murders. Chris Pepper is in the house. He is a regular as well. He's one of my moderators. My moderators are here. Thank you so much for showing up and checking out the live show. All right, let's get back to this article here, and then I have a video to correspond with this as well. So the four pals from the South Carolina have traveled across the southern border so McGee could undergo a tummy tuck operation, relatives have said. Shortly after entering the crime-ridden city, they found themselves in a crosshairs of a shootout between rival gangs. Oh boy. Their kidnappers held them at gunpoint and forced them into the back of a pickup truck in a violent on-camera abduction. I'm going to play that here in a second. The group was moved multiple times throughout in order to evade authorities. They were taken to a medical clinic at one point to create confusion and avoid efforts to rescue them. Police are still working to uncover a motive in the kidnapping, but theorize the friends were confused with Haitian drug smugglers. Guadalupe is the only person arrested so far in this case. Investigators are still on the lookout for the other assailants. The FBI has offered a $50,000 reward for the victim's return and their arrest of their abductors. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here. They're probably not going to find anyone else that's involved in this case. I mean, we'll just go on that. It's probably not going to happen. Chris Pepper says other resort sites are terrified of traveling to Mexico. I believe that the U.S. actually put out a travel advisory today to U.S. citizens to not travel into Mexico. I do believe that was released. Look, I always say this here. I respect people that travel. I love people that travel. I live vicariously through people that travel. I'm not a big traveler. I don't really like to fly. And I always say that I have everything right here in the U.S. At some point in my life, maybe I'll travel outside the U.S. But right now I have everything here and I haven't seen everything here. And I always think that you should explore your country first before going outside your country, because you'll be surprised. There's a lot of things that you may not know that's in your country. You should see. But I think there is a travel advisory that has been put out for that. So I want to pull up a segment here from, let's see. Sorry, guys. I wish that I had the ability to queue up multiple tabs, and that's something I hope StreamYard will fix someday, to pull up multiple tabs so we have, everything just right in queue and go right to it. But let's pull this up from Fox News, a little segment here. and we'll play through this.
The moment when the victims were dragged into the back of a pickup truck, the cartel suspects holding long guns and wearing bulletproof vests. Now, this senseless violence is now taking center stage at the White House as our own Peter Doocy pressed for answers. Watch.
Cartels kill Americans on this side of the border with drugs, and now they're killing Americans on the other side of the border with guns. Why is President Biden so comfortable with cartels operating so close to the U.S.?
We are seizing fentanyl at record historic levels because of what the president has done to secure our border.
But the violence aspect of it, now Americans are being slaughtered.
That's false. There's actually a YouTube channel that I want to raise some awareness to right now, and I just want all of you to check out this channel and check out the recent videos. Hang on one second. They say that they're doing everything down at the Mexican border to secure it as best as they can. I'm going to drop this video in the chat, and I listen. Peter Santello is a fantastic YouTuber, and he goes out and has been exploring the U.S. and kind of immerses himself in culture and leaves his political opinion out when he goes out to interview people. And he just wants to hear their story. I dropped in the chat a link to one of his videos. And I want you guys to watch this. I want you to see what's currently happening at our borders. He talks to the sheriff that's in Yuma, Arizona, and he gives you the true events of what goes on every day. And they go right to the border and show you what's going on down there. So, this whole thing about they're stopping all the drugs that are coming through, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. These cartels know what they're doing. They're using groups of people. You literally have 2 federal agents that are probably covering 50 to 100 miles of border. Okay. You have multiple areas in the border wall or fence that are not even built yet because all that construction gets stopped. So what they'll do is they'll trick families that are coming across. They'll have them send them 50 miles up the road, have them cross over, tell them to pick up the phone, call 911. Now what happens is the federal agent to dispatch to that area. They have to leave where they are. They'll leave the area, and the cartels are already right there where those federal agents left, and they're just walking drugs across the border. There's no one there to stop them. There's no one there to protect them. So they're just going to walk right through. So it's this game that this cat and mouse game all day. While they're actually there in that video, they actually see someone trying to cross the border, gets scared, and literally jumps back into the river and starts swimming across. And the sheriff is pointing out across the river where the checkpoints and the cartels are literally standing and waiting. And he said, we get shot at every single day because we're out here watching. It's crazy. But if you have time, please take the time to do that. There's 2 videos, but this one that I posted is a very important. It's a great video. It's with the sheriff of Yuma, Arizona, and it's very informative what's going on there, the truth of what's going down there at the border.
President Biden be taking the same approach if it was Al-Qaeda or ISIS operating just across the border from an American city?
The president takes this very seriously. He takes this very seriously. The FBI and other agencies have been on top of this.
And the State Department takes the violence very seriously, reiterating that it has listed 6 Mexican states, including Tamaulipas, where this happened, as do not travel alert. It's the strongest advisory the State Department can issue for places in Mexico. Steve Ainsley, Bryan?
All right. Thank you so much, Graf. Yeah, we think about spring break. It's right around the corner. A lot of people going to Mexico. If you're one of those, our government is just saying be very careful. Avoid the areas where you'll see the cartel hotspots. There's information online. They have listed cities of where you should not go. But travel agents are reporting. Yeah, exactly. Travel agents are reporting a post-pandemic boom, though. They say bookings are similar now to pre-2020 numbers when it comes to booking vacations in Mexico.
It's crazy. So this is the travel advisory here. This is what I was talking about. I'm not going to play too much more of this video. I just wanted to kind of give you a taste of what was going on with the story. Thankfully that they were able to rescue two of the people that were involved in this. Sadly, they lost two of their friends. I'm sure it's very traumatic experience to go through, but this is important. You know, do not travel into Mexico right now. It's a very hot area as far as the cartel activity. There's a lot of things going on at the border. And, you know, it's just my advisory to not go there. You know, it's very unsafe at the moment. What I wanted to do is I found a video of two gentlemen. They were partners. They went down to Mexico in 2020. I believe they photographed wildlife, and a specific similar incident to them happened just like what happened here. And they literally have live webcam footage of what happened that day. Webcam. Oh my God. I feel like I'm back in 1990. Live car cam footage of actually what happened that day, because they had an in-car camera, dash cam, recording them and recording out. So I want to play through. It's about a 20-minute video, and they actually tell their story of what happened, and they have all of the video to show. So, I mean, they were lucky enough to get out of the situation, but we'll play this here. And we're going to get an ad.
97 pounds with new. I have lost 25 pounds with new.
All right.
Oh my God, they have guns. Jesus, Jesus.
Go, 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 go,
No, 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 please, 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 what? Please, please, please. Please, what? Logan, don't, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Whew. Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, this was definitely my first trip to Mexico and my first trip out of the country. I was there to see birds and experience the scenery and wildlife that they have there, and we did a lot of it.
Mexico has a lot to offer. There's a lot. There's deserts, there's mountains, there's oceans. It depends on what part of Mexico you're in. We saw a lot of incredible stuff in Mexico.
Well, we chose the road that we were on because I was seeing a lot of marshlands around, and I knew that there'd be wading birds that I'd never seen in America, and I felt like this was a good opportunity to hop off really quickly and see some birds that on a road that we can slow down off or pull off on. And so we took the side road hoping to see marshland.
I mean, he even looks like he has anxiety just talking. I mean, that's traumatic. I mean, he even looks like, you know, he still looks like he's scared.
And there was marshland for sure.
It's crazy.
I felt safe for the most part.
His partner seemed
in Mexico. Now there was, you know, you hear stories and stuff, so there was always something at the back of my mind where maybe something could happen. But everyone we talked to was friendly and incredible people, so we really started getting comfortable, and I felt safe up until, you know, I could see in my rearview mirror someone flying up on me, and that's when I really started to get a little bit nervous and wonder what is going on with this guy or this vehicle. But other than that, for the most part, I felt safe in Mexico.
There's another car coming up behind us. What way should I go? Straight or right? That's the right way. I guess straight. I don't know either. Just pick one. I'm gonna pick straight. Bike on this road, so there must be civilization somewhere over here. Looks like there's a town up here, or a village. The car behind us is kind of scaring me how fast they're going. I know, we're going.
This is so intense. Oh man.
It's not scaring me. It's scaring me because what if they're speeding up on us to rob us or
You know
something?
what, Matt? What if they're speeding up to rob us? Oh my God. How intense is that? And you can see that truck coming right. If you keep an eye on that back window. You're going to see that truck come up fast.
They probably just drove this road a bunch of times.
Whoa.
My God, they have guns. Jesus, Jesus. Go, 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 go. No, 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 no. Please, please, please. Please, please, please. What? Please, please, please. Please, what?
Wow.
Please, what? No, Espanol, please. We're just.
The feeling I had when the vehicle was approaching was my heart really started racing, and I started kind of thinking about all the stories people told me before I went. People, gave me stories of what could happen, and I started thinking, like, I'm on this back road where we haven't seen another vehicle for the most. I mean, I think we did see a bike, but we hadn't seen a whole lot of people. And we're like, I started panicking. Well, what if these people are gonna kill me or something? And I said to Logan, I thought that they might rob me, but deep down in my mind, I was thinking worse than that. And I was a lot more scared than I let on, I think, even when I could see that someone was going probably 60 miles, 70 miles per hour on this road that we were going, I want to say 20, 25 miles per hour. And it was really bumpy. So when I could see how fast that they were moving on this road, I was definitely scared before they even got up to me and I could see that they had guns.
Well, I typically am optimistic. And when it was approaching us, I was trying to tell myself that maybe it's just a vehicle that has drove this road several times and they're just in a hurry.
You guys are just jumping in. We're watching a video here of two gentlemen back in 2020 that were traveling in Mexico and actually got held up, and they're kind of telling about their experience, and they were lucky enough to get away. I'm pretty sure it was probably some cartel activity, but just kind of relating this to the story of what happened with the 4 Americans that were just kidnapped by the cartel, killing 2 and then 2 surviving. So this is a little bit of their a story that happened, and these guys were lucky to get away.
And so I told Aaron to pull over for them so they could pass us because they were coming up on us pretty quickly.
100% correct.
When I realized that,
so terrifying.
Our lives were at risk, and I actually really started, oh, well, this is the end. My life is over. It was as they were passing me, I look over and I see them in the back of the car or the back of the truck with their guns hanging out. And then when, like, my heart just dropped and I saw them jump out of the vehicle and come towards me. And I still remember to this day seeing down the barrel of one of their guns. I just looked down the barrel of his gun, and I felt like my life was over. My life was going to end right here in this moment, and no one may ever hear what happened. And there were just all these thoughts going through my head. It actually still right now gives me goosebumps talking about it. It was really scary. And at that moment I knew, like, in my head, I'm not going to survive this.
Through that, guys. Sorry about that.
My initial reaction was to get out of there. I mean, in the video, I'm saying, go, 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 because my instincts are to flee the situation. And thank God we stopped.
Well, I started to go. I started to back up, and something inside me.
What I found very strange too. His partner, when they were leaving, he like, you see him kind of throw his seatbelt on, and I wonder if that's just kind of fight or flight, a natural reaction. I'm like, why would you put your seatbelt on? But maybe he was getting ready for like a wild ride out of there or something. But just that natural reaction.
I'm not exactly sure. I think the reason I stopped is looking. The one guy put his hands up and he had with his gun at me and kind of like gave me a motion. You need to stop. And I knew if I would have kept going, I would have been shot multiple times by a lot of people. And I knew, like, I have to stop. I'm not going to outrun a bullet.
Yeah.
I have to stop and see what happens. Maybe for some reason, the fact that in that moment, I think I was kind of thinking, well, they haven't fired yet, even though it was only a matter of a fraction of a second from when they jumped out and all that, and from me actually stopping. I knew that if I kept going, they're going to load me up with bullets, and I knew I had to stop.
That's terrifying. You're literally looking down the barrel of a gun.
See what my chances of surviving were, rather than keep going, because if I would have kept going, I think I wouldn't be here today.
I'm not sure exactly what changed, if anything, because to be honest with you, I wasn't going to feel safe until we were out of there. When they reassured us and told us we could go, all I wanted to do was go. I didn't want to wait around and see what would happen. I just wanted to get out of there and forget it ever happened.
No, Espanol, please. We're just.
No problem. No problem. Okay, no problem. You will.
Poor guys.
¿Dónde vas? Hey,
Please.
No problem. Okay.
I'm about to pass
No
out.
problem. Okay, no problem.
Logan, don't. It's okay.
Oh,
It's okay.
hey.
It's okay.
No problem. Okay. What? You will.
Can we go?
Well done.
Let me just get this real quick. BC's asking how long you live tonight. I got a long show. I'm planning maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock. I think that's how long the show is going to go. But because the video segments I have are pretty long. And then I have some Bryan Kohberger stuff I want to get into towards the end of the show. And of course, tomorrow night, please, everybody come over, join us with the Drunk Turkeys. I'm going to try to do 2 hours with them. That's going to start at 8:30. And that's going to be it's going to be such a great show. I have a lot of questions to ask them. And I actually jumped on their show the other night. I did about 45 minutes with them. And then we did kind of our green room backstage off air, and our chemistry and energy is like amazing. So I think the show is going to be really good. You guys aren't going to want to miss that. But yeah, I don't know. We're just going to hang out maybe another hour to, it's just, depends on the flow of the show. That's how I kind of do the things. I try to do at least, an hour to an hour and a half. But if I'm feeling good and the chat is going and people are interacting, I like to keep the shows going. So Dr. Bob's in the house. So yeah, by the way, BC is here. Thank you for joining this evening. And Dr. Bob said that's what real terror looks like. Absolutely. BC says, I got some real Mexican border stories for you, but I'm not available for about another hour. Well, if I'm here, if I'm still live, call in, man. We'll be here. I always love chatting with you, BC. So definitely call me. You have the number, my friend. You have the number. All right, we'll play through this. See, I'm wondering if these individuals that are pulling the car over were like scouts for the cartel, or maybe they're fighting in that specific area with another faction of a cartel or something, and they're obviously checking out who these gentlemen are. I think he's probably trying to type or translate or something, I would assume. Or texting someone
Please.
Okay. Hey, no. Please. No problem. Hey, please, okay. Hey.
That guy's about as white as a ghost right now.
Okay. We're gonna see mi madre.
You will.
Cancun.
You?
And that's a natural instinct too, to say, hey, I have a mother, and I want to make it there and I want to see her. It's kind of a fight or flight instinct too, and just oh man, I couldn't even imagine.
No problem.
What's your name?
Aaron.
Eh? What's your name?
Aaron. See
you?
Logan.
Edwin.
What's your name?
Philip.
Philip.
No problem.
Can you speak English a little?
A little.
Please don't kill us.
No problem. Me.
When they told me everything was okay,
I still believe them.
there was so much going through my head.
Yeah.
I honestly, my body kind of
I
at
mean,
that
when you
point.
see the movies and people are kidnapped by cartels in movies, they always say everything's going to be okay. You know, everything's going to be okay. I mean,
It
what are
started
you going to believe?
to literally shut down, and I didn't even know. Like they said it was okay,
Yeah.
but a part of me still, I was relieved. Like, okay, I think I'm gonna survive this, but I think my body didn't realize
that's fight or flight.
What was going on, because my hands kind of started to close together, and like I started. I don't know if you want to call it seizing or what it was, but I kind of lost control of my legs and my hands for a second, and I felt like I was going to pass out. My head was like pounding, and it was still in that moment scary. And yeah, they said that it was no problem at that point, but after seeing those guns in my faces and thinking that we are going to die, it was a hard thing to I'm sorry.
Yeah.
By taking 200 milligrams of CoQ10 per day, you can reduce the risk of dying from heart
Everybody's
disease
going to get their
by
ads
54%.
in. It's okay, YouTube.
Yeah, it was an extremely tense moment for us. And I was thinking that they could change their mind at any moment and say, hey, let's just take these guys out. They're annoying, or this is getting
100%,
old. And it's a lot easier to take a bullet than to let someone.
I mean, you can obviously these two gentlemen are still really shaken up by this. I mean, it's still very fresh in their head.
Go. We were getting out of there as fast as possible and getting to a highway. We went straight to a hotel in a nearby city and stayed there for the night.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, yeah?
4 years.
Okay. Oh, my God.
Dios mío. Doble. Pues, aquí, mucho a little baby.
You have a baby? Were you scared? What did we?
No, pues, no paga nada, no paga nada, no paga nada. Dale vuelta a la cabeza, please. Aquí.
Okay, is this okay?
Nada.
Okay. I'm gonna. We just want to see birds.
No, papito, no, nada.
Okay.
Mira, para acá.
Okay.
Sí,
oh my God, I'm gonna pass out.
No,
You're
mira,
okay.
Hey.
You're okay. You're okay.
Hey.
You're okay.
Jeez,
Hey.
Here, you need your medicine?
Mira.
No. Here, take it. Here.
Sí, no problem. Mira, me no.
Here.
Hey.
Here, take your pill. No. It's
Nada.
Okay. Here, take it. Now,
That's
under your
a
tongue.
good instinct. That's a good instinct.
Oh my God.
I couldn't understand everything they were saying because of the language barrier, but I know that
running the show. She's one of my moderators.
They told me not to go. I need to go straight and then turn right on the very next road. They said if I keep going straight, I won't survive. They'll kill us. And I'm not think they were talking about them, but someone else further on ahead. They said I need to get off those roads. Don't get on them again. And I'm not exactly sure why they had a little bit of compassion, but I appreciate it, and I'm glad that I'm here today.
I would say, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No problem. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Hey.
My hands are. Let's get out of here. Okay, can we go?
Mira.
Oh, I got on camera. Okay. Logan, I can't. My hands are. Okay, I'll drive. Trade me spots.
Hey.
It's still very scary. I mean,
Jesus. Okay, we'll go this
I'm
way.
going to say this right now. If anybody felt like, they wouldn't feel like this in this situation, the toughest of people would probably be shitting their pants right now. I mean, I give these guys a lot of credit. I mean, they haven't cried. They're clearly very emotional, but they're holding it together somewhat, and I give them a lot of credit. It's a scary fucking situation.
Jesus, Logan.
Very lucky.
My hands are clamming up. You're fine. They're squeezing. You're fine.
No problem.
Okay. Can you don't let me die? You're fine. Let's just get out.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't. My hands are squeezing together. Am I okay? Let me stand up.
These poor guys.
Yeah, you want me to?
Okay.
No más.
After they said I could go, I stayed for. I wanted to leave. Logan wanted me to leave, but I literally could not control my body for a second. It was weird, and I was like, I need to go. I need to go before they change their mind. I ended up.
I think they had every. Robert Roberts says these guys stopping them mean business. And then Kristen, who's a channel member. Hey, Kristen, how are you? Thanks for joining. Christine, I'm sorry. Thanks for joining the show tonight. She says, I think the driver being so passive may have saved their lives. I think so as well, too. These guys meant business. I'm going back to like what Robert said. I think they had every intention to kidnap them. I don't know why they didn't, because I don't believe the story that they're they're scouting the area and protecting everybody that drives down the road. These guys wanted something, and I don't know what it was, but they just decided to not do anything or take them.
They ended up comforting me a little more, touched me on the shoulder. I shook their hand. I ended up getting out of the car.
Maybe
I felt
they
like I
didn't
needed
see any
to
type of value,
just, like stretch my body, and it would maybe help me feel better. They ended up, when I got out, they kind of comforted me a little more, gave me a hug. I got back in the car, and then I finally did drive away. And when we did drive away, we sped as fast as we could, and we got back to a highway.
I did feel trapped there to a certain extent, because after staying in Playa del Carmen for a few days, we became a little bit more comfortable. It was still a little scary. I mean, there was police everywhere, but I did feel a little bit more comfortable there than I did with the idea of trying to go back to the United States, 43 hours from the border. I'd say to anyone thinking about taking their car into Mexico, it's probably not a good idea. If you want to avoid any types of trouble, just don't do it. It's way safer to fly in and get taxis everywhere.
I don't know.
It was. I felt like we couldn't get back safely. We were in a dangerous area after everything that happened. Logan's car. I felt like we needed to just leave the car. Some people talked us in. Some friends back in the States talked to us. Just leave the car. We'll worry about that. Just get home and fly home. So that's when we decided we were going to fly home and leave our car, because we felt it wasn't worth driving through some of those areas again. And who knows what could happen. So that we just abandoned the vehicle and came home.
Well, to get my vehicle back, I've tried to explore.
Let me pull this up. It says Robert says maybe they're in the middle of a war with another gang, so they had other things going on. That quite possibly, that could be. Maybe they were patrolling the road looking for gangs, and of course they come across this car in the middle of nowhere. They got to stop them and see what's going on. Maybe these were the good guys in the situation. Dr. Bob says this is in the other aspect of fight and flight. There's also freeze. Yep, and we know about freeze. Nice little quotation there. We've heard about freeze in the Kohberger case. You don't see it very often in the real world. Yeah, and it's just amazing that this was all captured on dash cam, both angles, in front of the car and inside the car. I mean, it just tells the full story.
Lots of avenues, shipping companies.
His car's gone.
Places that will haul my vehicle for me. And nothing's really panned out. It's extremely expensive. I've had people offer from everywhere to take my vehicle for me back to the United States, but there's a lot of legalities. We're working on getting my vehicle back constantly, every single day, trying to find a way.
Christine.
We think that it could be possible here in the near future through some mutual friends, but there's still lots of risk involved.
I would like to say to the ones who did spare my life, thank you. Thank you for sparing both of our lives. I'm not sure who you were or why you wanted, but thank you. And I don't mean anything bad by any of this. I think that your country is an amazing country, and I enjoyed myself. And again, thank you for not killing me. It feels great to be alive.
I'm sure. All right.
I'd say thank you for letting me live to the gunman that let us go. And I hope to never see you guys again.
Yeah, I'd say. Wow, what a story. They're very, very lucky. Wow, 2 years. That's not going to happen. Yeah, okay. All right, so that was those were some of the lucky ones that got away, and how intense that was captured on on dash cam, inside and outside camera view. So wow. So moving along in the show, and I hope I'm saying this young man's name correctly. Is it XXXTentacion? XXXTentacion? I might have gotten that. So I was actually home today on my day off, and I popped in, and they've been running the live stream on Law and Crime of his murder trial, and the defense actually rested yesterday in their case, and they were getting to do some more court proceedings today to start handed to the jury for deliberation. So I guess what happened today, and I almost caught this like at the perfect time. Defense came in and they argued that the jury saw the defendants in the hallway. The defense argued that the jury saw the defendants in the hallway and saw one of them shackled. And the defense, one of the suspects said that he saw a juror look at him. And I guess there was some curmudgeon about the elevator coming up to the courtroom, and this is why they cross paths, and you're not, you want to keep the jury as far away from the trial as you can, and only just have them come into the courtroom, when they're, sequestered to come in. So during the procedures, the defense asked the judge for a mistrial because of what happened. Prosecution's going to state a defense claim, and then the judge is going to have a rebuttal to it. And then I don't want to tell too much, but let's pull this segment up. I want you guys to kind of watch. This is, it's real trial law, and I really get into this stuff and love watching it. So we'll see what happened here today. I'm going to there's some downtime when the judge is looking up some specific cases and in the case law. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip through kind of that silence and get to his determination, his answer after what happens here. So let's check this out. Probably gonna get a
Shopping
commercial.
for a new SUV? Make your first stop Central Jeep.
And then I promise
Now-
we'll get to Bryan Kohberger in the last part of the segment of the show. Let's see here. Oh boy. Oh, I lost my place. That's not good. Sorry, let me scrub through this, guys. I think it was here. Let's see. Oh, I don't know why that just scrubbed through like that. Let's see. This could be it. If not, I'll try to find it. If I can't get this segment, I'll do it another time. All right, here's the jury. The jury came in.
Alan Troy is dead. Number 2.
Okay, so that's... Sorry, guys. You know what happened? The video replayed, and then this is it right here, I believe. All right, I think we got it. Let's see. If not, we'll drop this segment. We'll go to Kohberger. Let's just wait for this to queue up. Let me speed this up. Yeah, this is it here. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm usually more well prepared. It's what happens. The video skipped up, and then that's where we are. So, all right. Way to kill a show. Way to kill the momentum in a show. Tancion. I think I got it. Tancion. Yeah. XXXTentacion. I think I got it. Did I get it? Chris, did I get it?
Parties present, here's or absent. Gentlemen.
Good morning, Judge. I understand an issue occurred this morning you'd like to address with Your Honor.
No issue, but go ahead.
Okay. My understanding is that my client and Mr. Padilla's client were walked in shackles across the front of where the jurors are sitting waiting to come in. I didn't witness any of this myself. I'm not quite sure how that could happen in a trial of this magnitude at this late stage.
Well, let me just set the record straight.
Let me give you some just quick context. So you have to keep in mind, the defense just rested yesterday, I think, believe their closing statement, and the prosecution was going to do their closing argument today too. So, I mean, this could be very well a tactic, knowing the severity of the case. There's so much evidence in this case. There's video evidence everywhere that show these gentlemen that are involved. And basically they're trying to cause a mistrial or ask for a mistrial. So they're just exploiting every small angle.
There were no jurors sitting there waiting. They were not paraded in front. The jurors' waiting room is on the other side of the hall, and they hadn't even arrived yet. And I ensured that when the defendants were brought in, I instructed BSO not to do that, to make sure that as the jurors were potentially getting off the elevator, that they would not do that. But there was nobody in the hall at the time. Nobody was sitting out there. There's no way that the jurors would be sitting out in front of the courtroom when their instructions are, and they always report to the reception area behind the elevators, which is all the way at the other end.
Triple XXXTentacion. I think I got it. Triple XXXTentacion.
They walked them away from where there would have been any view. Would there have been any jurors there?
Correct. So there was no viewing by any jurors, but once I saw them come through, I said, make sure they come through the back so that it can't happen. But I was aware of them coming in and discussed that and made sure, because I'm as concerned as you are that they're not being inadvertent.
We saw them follow your order regarding Mr. Gold, right?
Yes, so they took him through and made it.
They were able to do it. It wasn't impossible.
Yeah, no, it was just the elevator here is kind of broken, and so I didn't tell you.
The court's understanding that the jurors did not see the defendants is based on what BSO said.
There was nobody out in the hall at the time. No persons were out there.
Because the waiting room that they sit in is eye shot of the hallway, and I would like them polled to make sure that they didn't see it.
You want to bring them on and say, did any of you see our guys in shackles this morning?
I want to make sure that what BSO is telling you is true, because bottom line, it's coincidentally on the day that they're going to deliberate, for the first time in 9 weeks, they're brought in through the front door and not through the back door, which is the protocol. So I want to make sure that my client is not prejudiced from what the jury could have seen. And I'm sorry that I'm not going to take the word of the people that violated the protocol that's been in place all these weeks. So I don't know how we can remedy it, but I would really like a solution.
Let me have one moment, Judge.
Good point, Dr. Bob. Give you a bell on that one, buddy. If the funny thing about this judge is not having this right now. You can tell.
There's no way of walking in through the front door that is not within the vision of the persons that are sitting in the waiting room where the jury waits every morning. It's my belief that this was done on purpose. It was done the day after I said inflammatory remarks against BSO. I find it very.
So the woman down here in the lower quadrant is with the state, and you can kind of see her turning around, kind of giving the smirk, knowing that this is all kind of bullshit right now.
Very odd that it happened on the day that they're going to deliberate. And
The
for that
jury's
reason,
not in the room, so keep that in mind too.
Once again, sir, I don't know what your view of the hallway of the courthouse is, but the reception area is set back. It's recessed behind the elevators. We're on the other end of the hall, and there is no direct view from that area to here. I've been in that hallway many, many times in the many years that this floor has been open. I'm well aware there is no direct eye view from the reception area to this courtroom. Additionally, they were brought in at approximately somewhere between 10:02 and 5:10. The jury was told not to come back or be here at 10:30. I don't believe they began arriving until about 15 minutes after your clients were in the courtroom.
Judge, I spoke with my client who said he saw various jurors.
You saw jurors? Let's put them under oath. I want to know which jurors.
This judge
you
is
saw.
not having it.
So
He's like, let's do this.
we'll get to this because
Yeah.
then we're going to bring him in, and if he's perjuring himself, that'll be something else. Or if they're perjuring themselves, I don't know. I want to know which jurors he saw.
Wow, this judge is pissed. He doesn't want this going on right now.
Judge, if you're going to put him on the record, can we put on the record somebody from BSO to find out why this happened?
No, hey, you just said your client saw. So either sorry or didn't. I want to hear it. Either that's a factual statement or he's retracting it. I want to know. You're making a representation. All right, stand up, raise your right hand. Swear testimony you're about to give in the case now hearing should be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Put your hand down, state your full name, spell your last name.
The judge coming hard,
Which
man.
jurors did you see?
The slim white lady with the glasses.
Okay, we're gonna bring her in.
Okay.
He's not having it.
I guess in order to not single any juror out and make them feel uncomfortable, I suppose we should call all of them in and ask them if they saw any of the defendants congregating out in the hallway today.
He's so not having this right now.
If you're going to do that, Judge, I understand that I would suggest the question might be, have any of the jurors seen any of the defendants prior to you being called in here this morning today? Seen them today? Because if it's individual, one saw and one didn't, we could isolate that juror and then talk about potential prejudice with that.
Well, I would call them in individually.
Whatever the court, it's only my suggestion, Judge, whatever you want to do.
State wish to be heard.
Just briefly, Judge, Mr. Biddy is making a bold accusation that Broward
Even the
Sheriff's
judge is
Office
shaking his head yes.
when all the information that I've heard or that's been put on the record is at an elevator book. To make that accusation, I guess there'd have to be some mechanics that were involved or tampered with, and I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. Saying that Mr. Williams saw a juror doesn't mean that she saw him. That's the first thing. There's been no specificity about the conditions upon which he claims that he saw her. For example, what was she wearing? How far away was he? Things that we would normally ask any quote-unquote eyewitness. It hasn't even been identified what time, if she was even present during this time, who else was present in the hallway, who he was walking with. These are the things that have been put on the record by Mr. Williams.
Yes, what was she wearing?
She had on a light coat, like a light brown shirt. There was multiple people out there.
And I'm sorry, I didn't hear the answer.
She had on a light brown shirt.
Also, there's cameras and surveillance in this courthouse in this hallway. So rather than place an idea and potentially prejudice the jury at this point by an interview, which I don't even think counsel has reached the burden to interview the jurors or to even ask for a mistrial. He hasn't put on the record how his client is prejudiced or anything. I would argue that at this point, if he's gonna make that motion and go down that route, for him to do his diligence and to address it in the manner that it's normally addressed if there's going to be a motion for a mistrial.
What the judge is doing here, and you'll kind of see it almost looks like he's not paying attention. He's looking up case law right now of some other cases of potential that this potentially could have happened, and he's going to give his judgment right here in the court in a couple of minutes, and he's going to recite off some cases, other cases that this happened. So this is very interesting. Watch this.
Additionally, we could attempt to see what happened. There's surveillance, there's other avenues that it can be addressed. And so I would ask for the court to, before we go down that road and interviewing the jurors, especially asking them things about if they saw defendants in the hallway congregating or anything like that, I would ask for there to be further inquiry in a way that doesn't necessarily involve the jury directly, especially because of where we're at and what stage we're at in the trial. Also, there's been no argument how this amounts to fundamental error or any type of prejudice as to any of the defendants. I'm aware of case law that even if there's an incidental an incidental fact that happens where the jury may happen to find out or know that defendants are in custody, which is not uncommon for these charges for first-degree murder for a defendant to be in custody. And no, we haven't paraded it, we haven't highlighted it, but I would argue that this is tantamount to incidental, and that the courts have found that an incidental fact being even revealed or known does not tantamount to fundamental.
So I know that case. I've watched all of the footage from that case. That's probably something that I will cover here on the channel. Yeah, I probably will. It's interesting case, very interesting.
Fundamental error that would result in a mistrial. So because of that, I would ask for the court to do further inquiry, or at least just if Mr. Padilla is going to make that argument, he has the burden to bring either the case law or the proper argument before this court as to why he's requesting the relief that he's requesting.
Judge, if I may briefly respond, there are multiple different ways for the defendants to get into this courtroom. The fact that Mr. Boatwright was brought in under the correct manner, I think is something that should be noted for the record. I believe that you have been deliberate, and the issue of the elevator being broken, I heard for the first time out of Mrs. Shields' mouth. So I really I didn't want to be put in this position. I believe that having my client perp walk in shackles in front of the jury is extremely prejudicial, especially on the day that they're probably going to get the case to deliberate. And I just wanted that noted for the record. If the court wants me to do research and come back with case law, I'll be more than happy to. But I've been put in this uncomfortable position, and both me and my client didn't want to be in this position.
Okay, I think we're going to have a moment of pause while the judge is looking. So I'm going to speed this up and get to when he has his rebuttal. Okay.
Shackles is not so prejudicial as to warrant a mistrial.
Slow that back down. This is going to be the judge's answer here in a second. go back too far, probably. And I know if I speed it up, I'll miss it again. We'll just hang tight for a second.
Also from Hernandez versus State, 4 Southern 3rd, 642, Florida Supreme Court, 2009. Quoting the pertinent part, we have long held that a juror or a prospective juror's brief, inadvertent view of the defendant in shackles is not so prejudicial as to warrant a mistrial. See Singleton versus State, 783 Southern 2nd, 970, Florida Supreme Court, 2001, explaining jurors' brief glances of the defendant while he was being transported.
So he pulled up case law.
Shackles were not so prejudicial as to require a mistrial. Stewart versus State, 549 Southern 2nd, 171, Florida Supreme Court, 1989, finding that a new trial is not warranted where the defendant's shackles were ruled unobtrusive. Haney, H-E-I-N-E-Y versus State, 447 Southern 2nd, 210, Florida Supreme Court, 1984, holding that the juror's possible inadvertent and brief sight of the defendant being transported into the courtroom in chains does not justify a mistrial. Neary versus State, 384 Southern 2nd, 881, Florida Supreme Court, 1980, concluding that the juror's inadvertent sight of the defendant being brought to the courtroom in handcuffs was not so prejudicial as to require a mistrial. So if you can find a single case going the other way, I'll entertain this further. At this point, I'm making findings on the record that the elevator was broken, that there was no motivated intent to bring them through the hallway, that I instructed them to avoid that if possible. I also asked the deputies that were making the transport at the time whether there was anyone else in the hallway, and they assured the court that it was not. And the court notes for the record that the jury, the reception area where the jurors are formed up is not within eye view of the courtroom door leading into this courtroom. Thank you. Now, if there's nothing further, we will proceed to close.
So the court denied my motion for the record?
I'm denying your motion for mistrial. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
And that's it. So really interesting stuff that went on there in the courtroom today. And I happened to catch that live and I was like, wow, I have to talk about this on the show. But it just gives you a little bit of some inside perspective of, trial law. And I love watching court cases and seeing how, the different, I guess, defense and state tactics. But yeah, he does kind of look like a modern day Perry Mason. That's a great observation. All right, guys, we're going to get on to the last segment of the show, and then we're going to wrap this one up. And then, of course, tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have the Drunk Turkeys on the show. We're going to talk, hopefully, 2 hours of Kohberger here. I have a lot of questions for those guys. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So BC says, I would agree with the defense. However, these dummies are on 30 different cameras with X before and after the shooting, plus the face tattoo looks way worse than the shackles. Dude, 100%. If you guys haven't had a chance, go over and watch the, the footage of all of that. I mean, they're caught on like a million cameras. They're obviously following around. It's very strange too, because if you look at X's body language, he's kind of the first 5 minutes when these guys come into the store, it's almost like he's looking at him like he knows that something's coming up. And it's just very sad. And it's a very bizarre case because I think either just a couple of days or a couple of hours before he was murdered, he went live and talked about things like, if I have to be the one to be sacrificed to change this world, then I will do that for all of you. And he was kind of talking like that on his live stream. And it's just very bizarre and strange, but just sad, a young man gunned down just over, money, which is just, it was a robbery, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And very, very, very sad. All right, moving along. We had some Bryan Kohberger updates here. Details revealed of what Bryan Kohberger was doing the night he was arrested. Let's pull up this article from BRC 13. Maroon County officials share new details about Idaho murder suspect's arrest. Goes on to say the Maroon County District Attorney's Office sheds light on the Idaho murder suspect arrest after a search warrant is released. We're learning more about the investigation of the Chestnut Hill Township man charged in the killings of 4 University Idaho students. An unsealed warrant reveals more about what police were looking for at Bryan Kohberger's home and what they found on him when he was arrested in December. It has been 2 months since Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home. Now, for the first time, Maroon County officials are sharing what he was doing when police found him. Maroon County First Assistant Michael Mancuso says Mr. Kohberger, as with any criminal defendant, is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So that remains the case. But certainly for the investigation, in the interest of the investigators in the building, the case layer by layer, it was a significant find. The search warrant confirms Kohberger was under police surveillance for several weeks before he was arrested, and officials believe he was in possession of items related to the murder of 4 University Idaho students. Police raided his family's home within Indian Mountain Lake Estates in the Chestnut Hill Township, December 30th, just before 1:30 in the morning. A warrant shows that he had on him at the time a silver flashlight, 4 medical-style gloves, a large T-shirt, Arizona Jeans Company, a large black sweatshirt, Washington State Cougars, a pair of black and white size 13 shoes, Nike, pair of Under Armour socks, black shorts, Under Armour, black boxers, Under Armour, and they had done 1 cheek swab. That's So Mancuso says Mr. Kohberger was found awake in the kitchen area, dressed in shorts and a shirt, wearing latex medical type gloves, and apparently he was taking his personal trash and putting it into separate Ziploc baggies. Mancuso tells us that the discovery cleared up another part of the investigation. Mancuso says a trash poll that was done days before recovering DNA profiles, but not from him, only from his family members. State police said they're looking for anything that may shed light on the mental state of Kohberger or the victims, including drugs or medication. But we're told these actions speak for themselves. Mancuso says it could be very explained. I'll get this out. It could very explain some of the other aspects of the case from Idaho. Some of the lengths that a person would go to avoid having their DNA left behind when they know they should have known that there was an investigation underway. As far as the other items, 2 could play a big role in court. I would be keen on the shoes, the size of the shoes, comparison to any shoe, it should say shoe impressions, that might have been recovered at the scene, that sort of thing. But we were told the cheek swab is key. Something they compared to DNA, I believe, the snap button on the sheath of the knife. The Monroe County District Attorney Office continues to investigate Kohberger, and they are in process of sharing that information with the Idaho authorities. Officials tell us the search warrant related to Kohberger's car and family home will be released tomorrow morning. And obviously we got that already. So let's see. I'm just going to pull the chat up real quick. Kristen says, oh, I just saw your name is Brian, not Opie. My bad. Yeah, you can call me Brian. That's fine. And then Cameron was just laughing. And she said, I knew I couldn't call him idiot. Thank you. But, that sheds a little bit more light, a little bit more of a personal, account of the events that are going on. You're getting this kind of firsthand, and, you're actually getting a human being that's talking about this case and giving some facts and what they were looking about. And I find this very interesting that Kohberger was found awake in his kitchen area, dressed in shorts with a shirt, wearing latex medical gloves, and apparently was taking his personal trash and putting it into separate Ziploc baggies. I mean, the facts in this case are lining up. And the thing, and this is going to be a good segue for me. I want to talk a little bit about this. I'm seeing the comments, I'm seeing what people are leaving on my page, and I get it. You're either going to like what I do here, or you're not. I understand that. I'm not going to please everybody. I stick to the facts in the case. If someone has any type of information or a theory, you need to back that up with facts. You need to show me some type of evidence that I can talk to about on this show, or call in. The phone line is always open, 774-855-9400. If you're going to speak and be strong in your convictions, you need to come on the show and do it live so you can tell me your theory or story. I'm going to just answer you. They give, oh, it was a cartel that did it. Okay, give me some information. Show me where. How did you come up with this? What are the facts? Who did you hear it from? I can't just go on live on air where I'm researching and not finding anything, any statements or any leads or information that's out there, and say a cartel did it. That would be bullshit. That would be lying. I don't have anything to back that up. But I'm telling my audience, or the people that watch this channel or come across this channel, if you want to show your theory, tell me your theory or debate or give me facts or whatever, call the show. It's the only way that we can hammer this out. This is the only way that you could change my opinion, or, give me your opinion. So I wanted to just kind of put that in there. SC is saying, wait, that's how he was when the feds showed up? Yes. They found him separating his personal trash into Ziploc bags. So I don't know. It's not looking good here for the old Kohberger. If you catch my drift. Chris, can you imagine what Lauren was thinking? Picking up the family's trash, separating his own bag, just crazy. Absolutely. So, let me just do this. Some quick food for thought. I kind of wrote a paragraph out today. So let's just hear me out here for a second. So food for thought, and this is talking about the digital DNA. So I went back and did some research today, and I was trying to figure out if an iPhone would still continue to record data if it was turned off or put into airplane mode. So just hear me out here. Does an iPhone record steps? And this is what I said. If you've watched any of the Murdoch trial, I think one of the biggest things in there, which I was blown away by, was where they could literally pinpoint every one of his steps. And that comes through the data of that phone, because it has an accelerometer. I think that's what it's called. That's basically can, track your steps for health or fitness, or if you use an app and it tracks you, and it's all by GPS satellite. So it's constantly connected to that type of satellite. Even if you turn off your phone or put it into airplane mode, the phone itself is going to continue to record that data. And then when it's turned back on, it's going to ping that information out, either via a satellite or on a network. So hear me out here for a second. Does an iPhone record steps while in airplane mode? Yes. Steps are counted using the accelerometer built into the phone. It doesn't require any external connection. This was very important. In the Murdoch trial, they could show where Alec was up and moving while he claimed to be napping. I believe you will see this type of digital forensic DNA used in this trial as well. I'm assuming if Kohberger took his phone with him into the King Road home, his phone would have recorded his steps, which his steps rate could be tallied. This data can be helpful and corroborate with the timeline. Let's think about it. He would have been driving up until 4:04 a.m. and then presumably stepping quickly until about 4:25 a.m., then driving again. If law enforcement think he left his car at any time on the long way home, let's just say to ditch the knife or the clothes, they could compare it to the vehicle sightings and find when and where he exited his vehicle from the step data. But some may ask, what if his phone was turned off or ran out of battery? The motion coprocessor would keep collecting data and offload that data once the device is powered back on. Keep in mind, You can turn off the motion tracking, but it's mostly unlikely that someone would think about that. So that's a little bit of food for thought, and I wanted to throw that out in the ether. And if anybody wants to chat here and give me kind of a response to it, I would appreciate it. Also, another thing that I went back and I looked at the PCA today, and there's some data in there that there was some statements in there that was very interesting. If you get into one of the paragraphs, and I think I can pull it up really quick right here. Shit, let me see. Just bear with me for a second. I have the PCA and I kind of, let's see. They say, I'm sorry, I had this pulled up earlier. They said that they downloaded data from DM and BF's phone. So they took both their phones. Law enforcement took their phones that day or night and downloaded the data from that. So that's going to be very interesting to see when that comes up in court. If it comes in court, if this goes to court. Oh, and another reminder too, they actually had another, the defense attorney today had or within the last couple of days had another motion to bring on an assistant for the trial. So that leads me to believe that they are going to seek the death penalty in this proceeding. Let's see. Also, what else was I talking about here? O'Brien says, good stuff, Brian. It's like an electronic DNA. And that's what I said. I said, you know, this is where everybody's jumping to conclusion. Oh, you know, there's not enough fucking evidence. It's not you can only imagine how much this stores. They're going to rip through everything on his phone. They're going to rip through everything on his computer. They're going to rip through all of the phones that were involved. I just turned on my my flashlight. You know, all the victims' phones, the survivors in the in the home. They're going to go through everybody's phone. There's going to be so much data. You don't even realize how much data this all collects in these phones. It's scary. It has our whole lives on here. And SC saying, oh, I can't wait for the data from that. Absolutely. And BC says probably DM's phone to see if she actually took those supposed steps to the door several times. Yes. And the other thing that you have to think of too, they think that Xana was on TikTok at the time. And I was kind of palling around and someone said, can you only imagine what TikTok recorded or possibly recorded? Because those phones, TikTok's an app, one of those other apps too that grab very interactive information all around you. It's a very great video of Joe Rogan actually reading the terms of service of TikTok. That's why I will not download TikTok on my phone. And I know I have the potentiality to, you know, upload clips of my podcast on there and get, you know, millions of reach. I will not do it. There's actually a great video. Look it up. They read the terms of service. TikTok is one of the most scariest apps to have on your phone as far as stealing your personal information. Not only can it take the information from your phone, it knows your what's the word I'm looking for? Your like rhythms and your strokes, your mannerisms in your phone, and actually will connect over the internet and find those same mannerisms on PCs and pull data and pull information from those computers too. It's the most scariest app I've ever seen. I will not download it on my phone, but if you have a chance, look it up. Like Joe Rogan reads TikTok terms of service. It's spellbinding of the information that app grabs off your phone. So SC says, or if she's told multiple people about seeing them dead. Absolutely. And BC agrees. And SC says TikTok records your conversation. I wonder if they could have any audio from that. Absolutely. And TikTok ain't doing shit to help U.S. law enforcement. Absolutely. Yeah, it'll find kind of your personal algorithm, if that's what you're talking about. It knows keystrokes. It will actually pull data from websites that you're on your phone, your computer will find everything about you and basically create a folder. Not like Facebook has all our stuff anyway, but It's a pretty scary app. I will not download it on my phone, but look that video up. Just type in like YouTube search Joe Rogan reads TikTok terms of service. So that's another thing. Another thing I wanted to bring up too in the PCA. So I talked about Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen, law enforcement downloading their data, and I haven't heard anybody talk about that. And that's really like right in the first couple of sentences of when they start actually going through the detail of that night. Another thing I wanted to talk about too that I saw in the PCA going over it. So another detail I want to reveal in the PCA is that law enforcement had license plate scanners basically all over the country. And they actually say in the PCA that investigators believe that Kohberger is still driving the 2015 white Honda. This is a quote from the PCA, the 2015 white Honda Elantra, because the vehicle was captured on December 13th, 2022 by a license plate reader in Loma, Colorado. This information is provided by a quarry to their database. So I'm wondering if they've picked him up anywhere else, you know, maybe on that long ride home. Did they have a license plate scanner there? Did they have a license plate scanner along the other routes that he took that night or allegedly took that night? And they can corroborate. I think that with the FBI being involved in this case, I truly believe there is a lot of information that is going to come out. You know, and I know we're all chomping at the bit. We want to know. We want to know what happened. We want to know what's the connection. I think they're going to have a lot of that when this goes to trial. And that's why we need to hear that pre-trial hearing, because a lot of information is going to come out, because they basically, the prosecution is going to outline the case. I think we've only heard about 10%. And you got to think all this time, it's just been building and building and building. So more evidence is going to come out, more witnesses, more conversations, more digging around into maybe Kohberger's past, or if, you know, what the connections are. Is there, you know, that, like I said, there's been theories that there's drugs involved, it's cartel activity. If there is, we're all going to hear that. We're all going to find out. Was there another person involved? Quite possibly, you know, we may hear that. But again, I think only like 10% or 20% of the story has already been told, and there's going to be a lot more that comes out. Another interesting that I wanted to bring up before I wrap up the show is I want to go back to a video that was on December 3rd of 22. And I missed this, but Kara, Xana's mother, actually went on Banfield and spoke a live segment on her show. And I wanted to pull that up because there's an interesting statement she makes about Xana basically almost being decapitated. And I found that a little obviously alarming. But let's play.
There's just like so much I want to say about this. So the shampoo and conditioner, again,
I know.
Hydrate,
It's another
number
Banfield segment. I get a lot of shit for
Is
this.
on the phone with me now. Kara, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Can I just ask you off the bat how you are getting by in this terribly sorrowful time?
Not very easily, not good. I mean, I don't know what to say to that.
I can't even imagine the pain that you and your family are going through. Have the police been helpful to you, Kara, to understand some of the things they can and can't say?
You know, honestly, no. Honestly, no. They haven't said anything. I learn more on the news and on TV than they have said to me.
Have you had a chance to talk with some of the other parents of the other 3 kids who were there that night and share information amongst yourselves?
Not really, honestly. I've just been dealing with my family, and we've just been absorbing this shock.
Can you tell me, Kara, what you do know about this terrible night?
I mean, you got to think this is all about, it's all about clicks and views. You know, think of all the bullshit that you come across on YouTube from a thumbnail or a title. They try to get the most emotion out so they can get ahead of the curve and say, we broke the story, or we had the emotional story. I mean, it's what it's all about. BC says, I can't believe relatives go in on air and talk to these vultures. Absolutely.
I Well, what I do know is not nearly enough. We need more answers. There is, there is so much more that can be done that has not been done. And I just know that there's GPS, NASA to find out who went into that home that night. I know that. Why hasn't that been looked into? Why hasn't that been accessed?
Can I, Kara, can I ask you that there is a mysterious sort of 4-hour and 45-minute block of time that's unaccounted for by the police timeline. The police say that your daughter, Xana, and her boyfriend, Ethan, were at the Sigma Chi house from 8 until 9 p.m., but then they don't have any information on where they were from 9 p.m. to 1:45 a.m. Do you know anything about that from either your information from the police or Ethan's family or anybody?
I may be candid in saying this, but I think that they were at a bar.
And where do you get that information from? Did someone tell you that they'd gone from the Sigma Chi house to a bar before they ended up home?
That's what their father conveyed to me, that he thought that they were at the bar at that night. So, yeah, I mean, that's what college kids do on the weekends. So.
But you don't know for sure that they left the Sigma Chi house, went to a bar? Okay.
I don't know for sure, absolutely not.
And have the police asked you any questions about where Xana might have been, or if she texted you, or if she had, if she'd communicated with any family members in that period of time?
No, no answers whatsoever. Really. I asked the investigators when they come and spoke to me. They were not able to offer me any answers. None.
Can I ask you, Xana's sister Jasmine has put such a beautiful tribute to Xana on her Instagram. And I wonder if she has any additional information, just perhaps from being able to access her sister's social media or her phone. Has Jasmine been able to ascertain any other details of what happened that night, or where Xana and Ethan were that night?
No, I'm not going to speak for Jasmine. You would have to ask her that yourself. And she says she's going through it right now without her sister. And I'm sure if she had any answers or any information, she's already conveyed that to the investigators.
May I ask you if you can confirm that Xana's room was on the second floor of the house?
Yes, I can confirm that. And
and was it on? Sorry?
I just had a question about the other two roommates who were there on the first floor. And I just wonder, wasn't something heard, or, the surviving roommates that were there, they had to have heard something. They had to have, the dog, something.
Thank you for watching. Go to news.
It's interesting that she said on the first floor, and then later we found that Dylan was actually up on the second floor. It's a lot of unanswered questions, a lot about that night that we need to still dig into. So yeah, very, very heavy. It's still fresh. That's like what, 2 weeks? That was like 2 weeks out. There was nothing at that point. No information. So yes, absolutely. And then real quick, before I wrap this one up, get some rest, and we got a awesome show tomorrow. Essie says so many unanswered questions. Absolutely. I'm going to do this really quick. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm going to grab a link. I have... Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That is the link for tomorrow's show. after I close up shop here, if you want to go over, hit your just hit the remind me button, and that will let you know when we all go live. It's going to be tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're not going to want to miss that show with Drunk Turkeys. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. The channel's growing. It's great. The response has been really great. And now I just got to get everybody to come over for the live shows. So we're figuring all that out because, you know, I'm a live guy. I like live. So this is, it's funny that you said that until June. So I have, I'm not 100% on this yet, but I'm thinking about it. I am thinking about going out to Idaho in June, possibly for the hearing. I don't know if it's going to be open to the public, but at least if I can get out there and get kind of, you know, the vibe and you know, investigate and see if I can talk to some people or, you know, just see kind of what's going on out in Moscow. So I am possibly planning to go out. I've been thinking about it. And, you know, if I can get out there and bring some content to the channel of, you know, what's going on, do some reporting and report back to you guys and let you know, what's going on. So it is something. I'm about 50-50 right now. I just have to plan for it because I do have a regular job and my job is very, very important. And it's very demanding, but I'm going to try to do everything in my power to do that. So, BC, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So I just want to make sure that I confirm it. I'm still thinking about it. I'm not one to travel, but maybe I get out of my shell and actually go do this and to do that. So, the best way that you guys can help is just join the members. All that money goes back into the channel. And, I just want to make sure that I'm 100%, before I do that, but I'm thinking about doing it. I'm going to talk to Drunk Turkeys tomorrow off air. Maybe those guys can meet me out there and we can do a couple of days out in Moscow and get over to King Road and see everything and get over to the school and maybe to the Mag Greek and I have a lot of things planned, but I want to do it with respect because I don't want to. I just don't want to be, I don't want to be insensitive. I want to take this as a reporting like trip. It's not fun. It's not anything I would take glee or joy in. It's to go out and report and show what's going on out there and possibly talk to some people and see how how they're feeling. Yeah, that's another question too. She says, I think DT will bring in a lot of audience here. It's well deserved. Thank you so much. Listen, the channel, the thing that I've learned about YouTube, I've been doing this since 2021. I've changed formats on this channel a million times, but now I think I've found my niche and I found an audience that I really love. You guys are always here and I appreciate that. And more people will come along. They're subscribing to the channel. The channel's growing. I have my little sub counter that I do before every show. And, that just gives me motivation. And the biggest thing I've learned about YouTube is that it's a slow grind. You just need to keep making content and posting it and it will happen. And I am, I'm getting the algorithm now. And if it blows up, it blows up. If it doesn't, then it will be a steady climb. And what do they say? Slow and steady wins the race. So, I'm excited about it and I really enjoy doing it. And I put a huge thought into my channel, the other day and just said, look, I really want to push this year and make some really quality content and, bring the channel up a level. So, SC says, I think it was awesome. I'll donate. Kristen says, I'm in. I appreciate that so much. They better televise this. Yeah, I hope so. I really do. Don't forget us when you're huge. I would never forget any. You guys have been here since day one. You guys are awesome. Crazy Piece is late to the show. I'm curious. Is Drunk Turkeys done? They're done. They had I looked over at one point. They almost had 1,700 people watching them. I am so happy for those guys. It's so awesome. I would I would shit if I had like 100 people watching me. But you know, like I said, slow and steady wins the race, and we'll get there at some point. So O'Brien says, I'll send a little money Venmo, by the way. I love Horror Hotel by the Misfits. I love that song. I got to show you something really quick. I have to turn my camera. I literally do my shows in boxer shorts, so I don't want to show my boxer shorts, but hang on one second. Let me just show you this really quick. Hang on. I'm still here, guys. Hang on. I just want to show something that I actually got in the mail today. So I am a huge Misfits fan, and I wanted to show, and I'm sorry, I want to get your, is it Cadeadman? I call you O'Brien. I don't want to slaughter your name, but I want to show you this because it's funny that you said the Misfits. So I just actually got this in the mail today. So this is the Evil Live German press, and look, it's signed by Jerry Only, the bass player. I am a huge Misfits fan. I collect a lot of their vinyl. This is a American Press Evil Live colored vinyl. There's only 2,000 of these ever pressed, and it's sealed. This is from 1987, sealed. I'm a huge, so if anybody ever wants to get me anything, get me Misfit related stuff. At some point when the channel gets bigger and grows, I'll probably do a PO box or something like that, and you guys can mail me or whatever you guys want to drop in the mail. Let's see. I love these chats, guys. You guys are awesome. I love just kind of hanging out and doing this. BC says, next time you talk Mexico, I'll tell you some fuckery that goes down there. Lee is in the chat. Hey, Lee, how are you? Thanks for joining the show. Kristen says, get your diaper ready. I can't wait for my shirt to get here so I can rep the channel. Did you buy a shirt? Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even get a note. Did you buy a shirt, SC? Oh, that's so cool. O'Brien says, so cool. Hello, everybody. Brian flexing. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a huge Misfits, like insane. I have tons of stuff. I have posters and a lot of their old rare vinyl. And yeah, so that's my. So Kristen does have a membership to his channel. Yes, she does. Yep. If you guys want to join, you can go up and hit the membership button up there and support the channel. So let me look at the poll. I'm going to end the poll here real quick, and it says, yeah. So hang on. I have it through Shopify right now, but I'm going to end up probably buying a press myself and just pressing them here at home because there's other things that I want to do, not just opinionated idiot stuff, but I'm probably going to end up doing some more different types of t-shirts, but I may design some and throw them up on what am I on? Sorry guys, just give me like 2 seconds. I'm going to grab the link off one of my other videos and I can post that. Yeah, if you look on my video tab, if you go down, my store is right there. It's on Spring, and I have coffee cups and I have a t-shirt up right now. This is the coffee mug here. I'll post the chat there. Oh, was that too long? Ooh, I just totally expanded. But that, oh, it didn't work. Oh, it might have. Yeah, that's my coffee mugs that I made, and I have some t-shirts there. You can just kind of navigate. Oh my God, it's the most awful link that I've ever posted in my entire life. It totally spammed the chat. Yeah, I got coffee mugs. Yep. And I'm going to do some other shirts with maybe some sayings on them, like, you know, be opinionated or something. I'll come up with something and design some other t-shirts. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, SC. I'd love to see you in a photo with that on. It'd be awesome. Oh, Drunk Turkeys. Hey, what's up, guys? That's awesome. Hey man, we're gonna do an awesome show tomorrow. Daniel, you guys are great. I was telling the crew over here that we did a backstage the other night. I joined you guys on your channel and we hung out backstage, and I think the chemistry is gonna be really great. That'd be really cool. I'm very, very excited about the show tomorrow. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I can't wait to hang out with you guys. Thanks guys. I appreciate the support. You guys are great. And let's see, BC, a new member, new channel member. Thank you so much, BC. You are one of my wrenches in the room. I appreciate it. And Leah says, I want to support. Me too. I appreciate that. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. And I promise, I will never forget all of you, because you guys have been here since day one. And I appreciate that. You know, I will always remember all of you wherever this channel goes. I remember all of you. Drunk Turkey says we will be laugh out louding forward. Looking forward to it. Also, yeah, man, we're gonna have a lot of fun over here. We're definitely gonna have a lot of fun. Kristen says your face in the camera at a shirt should be the trademark for you and the cat. Yeah, I might be changing my logo soon, but this is kind of like my meme cat logo. So, you know, it's this kind of like, you know, go to all the things that the good things that go on in the world, like, you know, yeah, definitely we'll be laugh out louding. Let's do this. Drunk turkeys. Yeah, Daniel, if you're in the chat, if you want to jump on for a second, please do. Before I close up shop, I'm going to close up shop here in a minute, but if you want to pop up and say hi to everybody, if not, we'll do the show tomorrow. Absolutely. So. Yeah, Lee was dude, you guys had like 1,700. I peek in, I look. You guys had 1,700 people watching you guys tonight. That's like awesome. You guys are doing really well, man. You're doing really, really well. I love it. You guys are awesome. So cool. But yeah, we covered a lot of stuff this night. I had a lot of fun, and I just love hanging out like this too, and just chatting and not being so serious and doing a show. Just a Trina Mill. It's cool, man. It's all right. It's all right. We're gonna do the show tomorrow. Don't worry, man. You guys are awesome. So cool. So cool. So cool. All right, guys. I am getting tired. I hate to leave everybody. I appreciate the new memberships this evening. Lee is saying the channel is gonna grow. And Drunk's just Daniel's just responding. Thanks, man. It was fun tonight live. Dude, you guys are murdering it over there. No pun intended. I know it's like a bad thing to say on a true crime channel, but you guys are really doing well, and I'm so happy for all of you. And tomorrow night, yes, let me just do this again, guys, before I get out of here. I'm going to drop the link. Make sure to go over, hit that notify me or remind me button. And I'm going to head out here in a second. Daniel, I'll see you tomorrow in the green room, and we'll hang out and have some fun tomorrow. All right. Yeah, you too. Hey, thanks for the email. I appreciate it. Oh, by the way, before everybody scuttles out really quick, I'm going to be launching probably through Telegram a opinionated idiot chat. So if you guys ever want to get in and join the chat, you can get in there and we can talk, share ideas, photos, whatever information about Kohberger that you may have seen. And you can have complete access to me and chat with me through there. I'm going to wait a little bit longer before I launch that, but it's something that I want to let you guys know about. Tomorrow night, guys, I will see you all then. I love all of you. And we'll be back tomorrow night with the drunk turkeys. And I got a special intro for them tomorrow. So, all right, let me hit the outro. You guys are still chatting. It's not going to be Discord. It's going to be through Telegram. I already have it set up. I'm going to wait a little bit longer for the channel to grow before we launch it. So I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, and I'll be back here tomorrow live, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, guys. Have a good night. See ya.